Hey, hi all. Welcome back to One Pitch Catch. I was just thinking, based on a lot of the news reports that are going around and some of our own discussions and our recent videos, like, will Jasprit Bumrah play the second test? Will he skip the second and play the third? Will he play four or five or both? Or is there like an over dependence on him that's just crept in over a period of time, particularly over, say, the last year or two? Because end of the day, it is a team game. You can't win just with one person. You need a lot of people to contribute in their own ways. We saw that with the Ashes exactly 20 years ago, where Shane Warne got 40 wickets. He was the leading wicket taker, I think, on either side, and 40 wickets is a ridiculous amount of wickets for a five-test series. That's basically getting 8 wickets a test. And still, Australia ended up on the losing side.
Don't have to go that far. Recently,
Okay.
Bumrah himself picked 32 wickets in four and a half tests at 13.5 or something. Okay, it's 13 point some. Then the scoreline was
Ridiculously
3-1.
low. Yeah. So what is going on, right? Why are we getting into this state where, and we've seen that with some of the batting in the past, right? I mean, when Sachin Tendulkar was there, but you didn't have some of the support cast or even some of the main actors like Rahul Dravid and Ganguly and Lakshman that came in later. It was always like, if he's out, then game is over, right? I feel like we're going back to those days.
I mean, I think it is a mix of a lot of factors. I feel, Jaga. I mean, the way Bumrah has delivered for India and the way the others have lacked that killer punch because even in the last test, last day when Bumrah had an off day, nobody stood up for the team. And I think India, like we spoke in the review, I think India was kind of was everybody was thinking that Bumrah will just bowl the team to win. It didn't happen. Bumrah had an off day, and I mean again in Edgbaston it could be the same thing here. I mean because I was looking at some stats, and the pace bowlers have not done so well here. So I think playing two spinners becomes essential. I mean, so whether we are dependent on Bumrah or not. And also, in a way, it could be not. Bumrah resting this match could be a blessing in disguise also, in way of testing Akashdeep or Ashdeep or these new young bowlers. In fact, in over a period of the next 3, 4, or 5 years, Bumrah may not be playing Test cricket with this
He's
injury.
31.
Yeah, with his injury and body also. I mean, I would be very surprised if he plays Test cricket beyond 3 years from today. So that way, it would be a nice thing to check out Akashdeep and Arshdeep also. What they have, and somebody has to stand up. After we can't stop playing Test cricket after Bumrah retires. So at this point, particular coming back particularly to the Edgbaston Test now, I think I mean they have also suggested in the press conference that they might mostly looking at playing two spinners. I don't know
Hmm.
if Kuldeep is in the scheme of things. Even in the last match, I felt Kuldeep would have made a difference. So I,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I hope Kuldeep is one of the two spinners that they are talking about, because uh, going because India simply cannot afford to lose this Test match, Jaga. Because
Yeah,
going 2-0 down in this five-match series it's going to make the comeback very
we're
difficult.
wrapped up at that stage. If you're
Very
2-0
difficult.
down in a five-match series,
Yeah,
very few teams come
especially
back from that.
especially this England side is I mean they ride on confidence. It's a very
Yeah.
confident and well settled English side now. I mean with the way they're batting, and I mean though their bowling is a little shaky, that I mean our the way our second half bats, they don't need even need half half good bowlers. So I think Kuldeep Yadav's inclusion in the 11, I feel it's extremely essential. The way that he can trouble that we have like we have already spoken, he can induce a lot of false shots even against this baseball English side. It is going to be
I really hope he gets picked. Otherwise, it's going to be bizarre if, like, I think if there's a talk of two spinners, then if Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar are going to be those spinners, that just seems like a pathetic attempt at having extra batting backup. And maybe you'll play Nitish Reddy also, who's also a batting all-rounder. Washington is a batting all-rounder. So it just seems like a very defensive tactic.
why
What's the
play Siraj?
point of
Why play
starting?
Siraj? Why play Siraj? We'll play Shardul also. Everybody
Yeah,
gives that bit of batting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is we've always, like we spoke before, Jaga, the top five don't bowl, but they always want the bottom five to somehow contribute with the bat. I mean, rightly
Yeah.
so, but at the same time, you can't cover up till. I mean, you need to have
No, you can't.
your bat, the tail and lower order bat bowlers trying to chip in with the bat. You cannot just drop them just because you are not good enough with the bat.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because one of the issues that we've seen mostly in the limited overs format with a lot of the Indian teams in the last few years is that in the limited over formats where lower order batting is very, very, very important, you go with 9, 10, and 11 that basically can't hold a bat. And
Mm.
in the test matches where you want more specialists, and yeah, lower order batting is important, but it's not as important as having strike bowlers. You end up compromising and going in for people who can bat a little bit and bowl a little bit. That thinking just seems very muddled to me.
I mean, this is not a. I think this is not just a Gambhir thing. It is
No,
we've
it's
always had this problem for years now. I think we are not setting. We are not getting. I think from it starts from the domestic level. I think so. Even from the domestic level, these people are not scoring runs.
yeah.
Somebody like. So these people have to. I mean, forget scoring runs, Jaga. Like I watched somewhere and somebody tell that your task should be to bat 30, 40 balls in a test
Yeah, I
match.
think I read that somewhere. That was the
So
targets that were being
yeah,
given.
you
Yeah.
don't not do you don't score 20 runs, 30 runs. You stay there for 30, 40 balls that
Yeah.
you have to face. You end up zero. He got a duck after 40 balls is good enough.
Yeah.
Imagine
And
the
there's somebody at the other end that can
yeah,
score 20,
imagine
30.
the last three playing out 100 balls. That is solid 16, 17
Yeah.
overs. Okay, so
Yeah.
that would delay everything for the opponent.
And it's around 50 runs, 50 to
Yes,
75 runs maybe.
exactly. So that is what they should do, which they are not doing. And even throwing the bat, like Prasid threw his bat, or the moment Harry Brook triggered him, he threw the bat last time. So all those things have to be. I mean, Prasid has gone through it. How difficult it was to pick a wicket on last day. He threw his wicket away. So he should know to bat responsibly. Even when I mean, they think that the top order scored hundreds, lot of hundreds. So if the lower order started thinking that we are not required to score those 10,
Okay.
15 runs also. No, that's not the way. Hmm.
Yes.
That is something
So I
with
think
respect
the
to
lower
batting.
order batting gaps are there. I hope they are working on plugging those. Like you said, just need to stick around, right? You don't need to score too many runs. I think the other aspect to one of the performance issues was also you don't have a bowler that was controlling the run rate, right? You had everybody was going for runs. Yeah, Jasprit Bumrah aside, Siraj in the first innings, Prasid in both innings, Shardul, everybody is being profligate and there's nobody that's actually doing a holding job, which is very important in a test match and especially against a team like England that thrives on having a run rate in its favor and going at over 4 and over and things like that. I mean, because even if you go back maybe say 7, 10 years, you had even though you would have like an Umesh Yadav or sometimes Shami who's giving away runs, you would have an Ishant that bowls and gets you like 15 overs and 35 runs and 1 wicket or something like that, right? I mean, in the end, yeah, he ends up with an average in the 30s, which is obviously doesn't do justice to his talent, but he did a particular job and he did it very well.
Yeah, I mean, yes, is whether Bumrah plays or not, the onus is on the attack to control, to bowl with discipline and control the runs. Especially England feed of scoring boundaries initially. Crawley and Duckett, and if one of them get out early, Pope. Also, they just start the scoring with a lot of boundaries. That is something that has to be uh, uh, curtailed. I mean, of course picking wickets is priority and it is the ultimate goal. But the most crucial thing I would say is to restrict England and force them to rethink their strategy, which makes room to make more mistakes from the English side. So that is something that we need to do. I think that is something that we're not. I mean, like they say, containing bowling may not be glamorous, but against
Yeah,
this baseball England side, no, that could be the most basic foundation uh, for wicket taking, is what I
correct.
feel.
Yeah. It's similar to, I mean, it's great to have batsmen that can keep hitting, but you also need those batsmen that graft it out and that allows the rest of the team to bat around them, right? So speaking of batsmen, how do you see from a selection perspective? Uh, Karun, I mean, the test is starting tomorrow, so this is obviously a preview for that. Do you see Karun Nair continuing? What about Sai Sudarshan? I thought Sai was pretty decent in the second innings that he played. He was a little unfortunate in the first innings to get out the way he did. Karun seemed like he probably almost borderline threw away his wicket in the first innings and was a little unfortunate in the second innings from a cotton bowl perspective, but he didn't last long enough to make a judgment.
True. I think I am. I think both of them. Yes. Probably, if I have to rank between the both of them, I think Sai did himself a little better than Karun in given that looking at the previous test alone. Um, but I think it would be unfair to drop either of them. I feel, given the way that it is. But for the team combination, whether Bumrah plays or not, I think the axe might fall on one of them. Most likely
Hmm.
Karun in this case, because if they have to fit in uh, Bumrah,
Nitish, a little bit of
Nitish,
bowling and things
yeah,
like that.
Nitish probably. I mean, I'm just saying randomly, not necessarily exactly it will happen. Nitish for Karun, Arshdeep
Yeah,
for Bumrah, and Kuldeep for Shardul. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
this could happen, or maybe I don't know if it is going to be or Washington coming in for somebody. So
Uh,
these kinds.
I don't know. Is Jadeja guaranteed to find a place in the 11? He didn't do much with either bat or ball. Definitely, as a fielder, he was great, but
Ideally, yes. Ideally,
uh,
yes. But I don't think. I think it is. It could be too early to drop Jadeja. I feel. But yes, going by performances, I think I don't think Jadeja is a sure shot in the 11. It could be. Why not Kuldeep and Washington if they are going to play two spinners? So And I also hope the top order doesn't get carried away after all the lot of runs they scored in first test. They need to start from scratch again. The scorecard reads zero when you go
yeah.
out to bat. So those things. I hope we don't. I do not want to see. Sub 100 all out throughout this series, Jaga. Because we do that every series, one
Yeah.
70s, 80 all out. I mean, we started doing at home also. This time with New Zealand, we did that. So I
46
hope,
runs.
yeah. So I hope we don't do that this time. And and I hope Rahul scores runs again because everybody seems to be thinking Rahul just scores in the first test and doesn't carry on.
He
Uh,
tails off practically.
yeah, actually, there is stats to probably to that argument, yes. But I hope this time, given
Yeah.
the inexperience of the batting lineup, Rahul standing up and not necessarily scoring hundreds every time. Even the 42 in the first innings was very, very vital. So
Yeah.
similarly, 40, 60, 70s could be very good if he can do that. Let us see if that also happens. What else do you think? What else do you think of any major changes in the 11 apart from the ones
No,
that
I
I
don't
told?
expect. I think we did speak about bringing Kuldeep in. I'm actually very interested to see if Jadeja will get picked. I think conservatively speaking, I don't think they will drop him. They'll want to give him another chance. Given the wickets are expected to be a little flat, we the weather forecast does indicate a little bit of rain on days 3, 4, and 5, but not too much. So I think by and large it will still be a pretty flat wicket and sunny conditions. So spin should have its own role to play. I don't expect too many major changes to come in. I think whether Jasprit Bumrah plays or not will be the big question, and whether Kuldeep comes in, probably the two major questions. England have announced an unchanged 11. I mean, all the stuff around, we will not announce about the Jasprit's availability until the last minute is just ridiculous. I mean, okay, even if we don't announce, we're going to come to know. So big deal.
I don't think. I mean, this is just. I don't know why
Puchandi,
they do
Puchandi
this.
Ghat.
They can, yeah, Puchandi cutters maybe. I don't know why they do this. They can do, but in fact, I think during the Dravid time or later in the Ravi Shastri time, they used to announce the 11 the previous day, right?
The previous
Sometimes
day,
India,
yeah, we definitely
India.
did see that happen. For whatever reason, we've gone back to that. Anyway, so yeah, I think those are the main aspects that we wanted to look at from a preview perspective. There is some other international cricket also happening. We have a two-test series between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka that ended with I think the scoreline was 1-0 for Sri
Sri Lanka.
Lanka. The first test was drawn and they won the second test. We also had South Africa versus Zimbabwe, which is not part of the WTC. A massive win for South Africa by an inning, not an innings, but yeah, it's a massive win. Then we also have England women playing against England women. There's an India under 19 series that Vaibhav has sort of done a couple of things in the first couple of matches that he's played. First one, he had a blistering knock. Second one, he scored some runs. So yeah, there's other cricket happening as well.
And we've come to the playoff level, playoff stage at TNPL.
Okay,
So
is
today,
Dindigul in the
today,
playoff stage?
yes, Dindigul,
Okay,
and I think the next tomorrow they're playing the eliminator. Dindigul and Trichy are playing the eliminator. I think today,
okay,
I think Chennai CSG, that is Chennai Super Gillies, and Tirupur are
yeah,
right now. It's the qualifier one is going on. In fact, as we talk.
okay, nice. Great. Anyway, that's about it. So we will stay tuned and come back in a
Hopefully,
few days.
hopefully we'll come back and talk about 1-1 rather than 2-0.
Yeah, hopefully, and hopefully we have I mean, I think the first test was very good. You don't see too many tests going all the way until the last hour on the last day. So that was, I think, a good advertisement from a cricket perspective. Hopefully, all the tests remain that way with some good cricket happening, and hopefully, we'll talk with a better result for India the next time we meet. Until then, thanks a lot. Please do follow the channel and give us your feedback. Thank you.
Subscribe
Bye.
to. Bye bye.